Welcome to TPM Vids Park B, where we talk all about amusement and theme parks. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos. Canada's Wonderland is the place to find high-speed thrills in Canada. Located in Vaughan, Ontario, just outside of Toronto, the park opened its gates on May 23, 1981, and it's currently the largest theme park in Canada. The iconic Wonder Mountain sits at the center of the park, and along with the beauty of the 60-foot cascading Victoria Falls in the front, the back is full of thrills, with 3 different roller coasters interacting with the mountain. During the park's time under Paramount, from 1993 until 2006, Canada's Wonderland saw the addition of many new popular thrill rides themed to Paramount films. Now, with over 35 years of operation and under the current ownership of Cedar Fair since 2007, Canada's Wonderland has become home to 77 rides, including 16 roller coasters, ranking it as the 3rd park in the world with the most coasters. But which rides are the fastest? What are the most thrilling coasters at the park? Well, in order of speed, today we're gonna find out as we count down the top 10 fastest rides at Canada's Wonderland. Number 10. We're gonna start the list off with the Backlot Stunt Coaster found in the Action Zone. This launch coaster originally opened as the Italian Job Stunt Track in May of 2005. It was the last ride at the park to be built under Paramount, and was originally themed to the final chase scene of the Italian Job film. The name was later changed to Backlot Stunt Coaster for the 2008 season, but most of the theming around the coaster, minus the special effects and onboard audio, was actually kept. Now once you're seated, keep your head back and prepare to be launched from 0 to 40 miles or 64.5 kilometers per hour in a matter of 3 seconds. You're immediately taken through 2 upward helixes into many twists, dips, and turns. This coaster does fall on the short end at just over 1 minute, but that's pretty common for launch coasters. It's a really fun ride overall, and after the enclosed tunnel, there's nothing like that sudden dip as you pass through the broken billboard to end your ride. Number 9. The next coaster on the list can be found on the outskirts of Medieval Fair. The Bat, which is a Vekoma boomerang, opened for the 1987 season. This model of coaster can be found in many parks across the world, but this one at Canada's Wonderland is somewhat unique. It actually uses one of the 3 trains that was originally built for Dragonfire. They realized Dragonfire couldn't operate 3 trains, so when it came time to build the Bat, the extra train was modified for this new coaster. Now get ready to be lifted backwards, then released. You'll find yourself reaching a top speed of 47 miles or 76 kilometers per hour as you're taken through 3 inversions including a vertical loop before you're taken up the second lift hill. Now you do the same thing all over again, but this time you're going backwards. You'll find yourself upside down a total of 6 times on the Bat, and traveling backwards definitely intensifies the experience. Since boomerangs can only operate with 1 train, the line can move pretty slow, but if you enjoy the thrill of inversions and traveling backwards, then the Bat is the coaster for you. Number 8. Known as Canada's first inverted steel coaster, Flight Deck originally opened as Top Gun for the 1995 season. Flight Deck is a suspended looping coaster manufactured by Vekoma, and your experience is supposed to simulate the feeling of flying an F-14 fighter jet. The ride's name was later changed to Flight Deck for the 2008 season. But a lot of the theming in the queue has been kept, including the air hangars, the radar, and the fighter jet, with some Canadian modifications. Now once you leave the loading station, you'll head up the 109-foot lift hill with your feet dangling below, then find yourself heading down the drop, reaching a top speed of 49.7 miles, or 80 kilometers per hour. You fly across the track with the feeling that your feet get very close to the coaster supports. But that's just an illusion and is all part of the thrill. This coaster has a total of 5 inversions, including a sea serpent roll and a double inline twist. Now, Flight Deck looks really cool from the outside, And although as of recently it's not one of the smoothest coasters, it can still be a lot of fun. Number 7. One of the original 5 roller coasters that opened with the park in May of 1981 was Dragonfire. The name of this coaster has always sounded the same, but to fit the medieval theme of medieval fare, fire was originally spelt with a Y until 1996. The coaster was manufactured by the now-defunct Aerodynamics, the same manufacturer who was responsible for creating Disneyland's Matterhorn, the first tubular steel roller coaster to ever be built. Although this coaster looks very small next to Leviathan, don't mistake its size for its thrill. As you climb the 78-foot lift hill, your train immediately descends into the iconic double loop, taking you upside down as you reach a top speed of 50 miles or 80.5 kilometers per hour. The other highlight of this coaster is its double corkscrew, and it's actually pretty unique. Dragonfire is the only aerodynamics coaster still operating to this day, where the train travels counterclockwise through the corkscrew. And it's always a guaranteed thrill every time you ride. Number 6. One of the 3 coasters that interact with Wonder Mountain is Vortex. This suspended steel coaster opened for the 1991 season, and like Dragonfire, was also manufactured by the now-defunct Aerodynamics. Now, the design of this coaster is very unique, since the track follows the elevations of the terrain. It's often described as being one of the most scenic rides at the park, and this couldn't be more true. As you climb the 98-foot lift hill to the top of Wonder Mountain, you're given a glimpse into the old observation lookout point that used to be at the top of the mountain until 1986. Up here you'll notice many archways and paths of this extinct experience. Now once your train heads down the drop, you'll reach a top speed of up to 55 miles or 89 kilometers per hour. As your train sways left to right, passing through the trees and speeding past the lake, it brings you very close to the water's surface. Vortex is one of my top favorite coasters at the park, and recently it seems to be the smoothest it's ever been. It's one of the more tame coasters on the list, and with a ride time of about 1 minute and 40 seconds, Vortex never disappoints. Number 5. When Canada's Wonderland opened in May of 1981, the mighty Canadian Minebuster was another one of the original 5 coasters. It's one of 3 wooden roller coasters at Canada's Wonderland, and was loosely modeled after the now extinct Shooting Star coaster at Coney Island in Cincinnati, Ohio. With an 87-foot drop, this wooden coaster has you reaching top speeds of up to 55.9 miles or 90 kilometers an hour. Speeding up and down these wooden hills that now interact with the water park definitely give you a lot of airtime during your ride. As you're racing back towards the load station, the coaster gives you one last mighty thrill as it takes you through a helix into an enclosed tunnel. Now, it's pretty common for wooden coasters to be on the bumpy side, and this is true with Minebuster. In the recent years, the seats have received extra padding, which does allow this classic wooden coaster to be a much more enjoyable experience. Number 4. Staying on the topic of wooden roller coasters, the next one can be found in medieval fare. Wildbeast was another original coaster that opened with the park in 1981, and was also modeled after another extinct coaster at Coney Island called the Wildcat. Just like Dragonfire until 1996, the Wildbeast's name had an E at the end of wild to go along with the medieval theme. Once you've ascended up the lift hill, you'll head down the initial drop of only 78 feet before going over numerous camel humps, hills, and sharp bank turns. As your train flies across the track of this figure-8 layout, you reach speeds of 56 miles or 90.1 kilometers an hour. In 2015, part of the coaster was retracked, which did help smooth out this part of the 2-minute ride. Overall, it's an oldie but a goodie, and although it might be a bit rough, it's still a classic wooden coaster. Number 3. Standing 227 feet tall over the park, it's hard to miss the multicolored drop tower Screamsown. This free-fall ride opened for the 1997 season and was originally named Drop Zone Stunt Tower. The story behind the multicolored paint job and the checkered race car decals was part of the original premise that you were stunt actors, about to film the final stunt scene of a movie. The ride's name changed for the 2008 season, but the experience has stayed the exact same. Drop Tower lifts you 200 feet in the air, and the anticipation builds as you reach the top. Before you can count to 10, you're dropped at a thrilling speed of 62 miles or 100 kilometers per hour, and you fall to the bottom in a matter of 4 seconds. The entire ride only lasts 40 seconds, but it's just enough time to make you scream and get that adrenaline pumping. Number 2. Canada's Wonderland stepped up their roller coaster game for the 2008 season, when the B&M hypercoaster Behemoth made its debut. This was Cedar Fair's first addition to the park, and although the coaster is now 10 years old, it's definitely remained a fan favorite. The classification of a hypercoaster is the requirement of being over 200 feet, and with the 230-foot drop at a 77-degree angle, your train will reach speeds of 77 miles or 124 kilometers per hour. The main draw of a hypercoaster is their speed and airtime. This is achieved by several hills in the track layout, and just by looking at Behemoth, there's no shortage of hills across the 5,318 feet of coaster track. It's a smooth 2.5-minute ride, with some really great airtime, and it also includes a few helixes before you finish your ascend up that final hill. This is an exhilarating coaster that will leave you wanting more, so don't miss out on Behemoth. Number 1. The fastest ride at Canada's Wonderland is hard to miss as it winds through the park's entrance. Leviathan debuted for the 2012 season and can be found in Medieval Fair. This B&M Giga Coaster is known for its height, speed, and intense thrill. A Giga Coaster exceeds a height of 300 feet, and Leviathan's highest point is 306 feet, which just happens to be the first drop. You'll race down at an 80-degree angle, reaching speeds of 92 miles or 148 kilometers per hour. With this kind of height and speed, Leviathan holds a few records. It's currently the 9th tallest steel roller coaster in the world, and the fastest roller coaster in Canada. Some of the other highlights of this coaster is the 183-foot tall Camelback and the 147-foot tall Hammerhead turn by the park entrance. Leviathan's main draw is definitely its speed, and there's nothing quite like the feeling of riding with your hands up while the wind blows in your face. With a ride time of 3 minutes and 28 seconds, this coaster really gets your adrenaline pumping. So if you're looking for that ultimate thrill at Canada's Wonderland, then look no further than Leviathan. So there you have it. Those are the top 10 fastest rides at Canada's Wonderland. Now, if you've been to the park recently or have heard the rumors, there is most definitely a new addition being worked on right here by Vortex and Splashworks. These footers are massive, and the tunnel has already been built, so it's safe to assume that a new coaster is coming to the park. It's also safe to assume that this new coaster will probably change the rankings of this list. Could this new addition become one of the fastest rides at Canada's Wonderland? Could the rumors and speculation of it being a dive coaster be true? What do you think? Well, with the park's history of new ride announcements happening in mid-August, I guess we'll soon find out, and it's definitely an exciting time for the park. So, what's your favorite ride at Canada's Wonderland? Either from this list, or maybe one I didn't mention. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching! Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel, and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.